Hey guys, your hardware captain coming back. We've been getting a lot of questions about the LB6500 and the LB6700 leaf blower. These are actually my favorite pieces of EGO equipment to fix. If it has no power when you pull the trigger, but you see the light on there, it's really only one thing, and that's the electrical assembly. All right, the first thing you're going to do is remove the battery. The second thing you're going to do is take off the stand. You need your T15 Torx bit. You don't have to take off every screw, just the front two that are holding it on and the rear two that are holding it on. And the whole thing wiggles right off. Next, let's take out the 10 T15 Torx bits that go all the way around. Then we can wiggle the clamshell off. Kind of keep your thumb on some of the components and gently back out off the clamshell so that the parts don't go flying on you. All right, before we get into the fix, let's take a moment to answer some of the questions that came in. One was, how does this shield go back on? The side that has the flat spade piece fits right into the channel next to the PCBA, and the front side just sits right in. Make sure that these two rubber grommet spacers don't get lost. Those are gonna have to go back on before you put the clamshell back in. I'm actually gonna take out the turbo assembly and the trigger assembly so that I can show you somewhat of the wire tracing the best I can. So the main wire for the power connection to the battery comes down through the back here. The throttle assembly goes in the front with the wire going around, wrapping down. The adjustment rheostat goes down, facing down into the body. The turbo button faces back with the actual trigger press up front. And then the wire goes around the face and into the PCBA. All right, let's go ahead and get the old electric assembly out. The last thing you need to do before you remove the electric assembly is these two small screws right here. And for the new part, I will list it in the description below in case you need to order one for yourself. Start by prepping the PCBA by pushing these wires into these channels. Next, run the 3 wires down the back path channel. Next, we're gonna send the rainbow ribbon down and around the channel.
Double rainbow all the way across the sky.
With the rheostat going through the hole. Then you wanna make sure you put your 2 screws back in here. For the turbo switch, you just wanna make sure that the circuit board is facing down and that the click is facing towards the blower housing. All right, let's put our motor connections back in. Try to do yellow, blue, red so that you can tuck them in line with the PCBA. Turbo switch, throttle trigger. All right, let's put the clamshell back on with just a couple of screws to make sure that it's working. You should have regular power and you should have turbo. All right, put the rest of the screws back in and we'll put the stand back on. And another one done. Let's get it back to the customer.